Welcome, everyone, to Manny's Irish Pub. It's been a while. I know a lot of you guys knew we were doing some renovations, and Manny's putting some money back into the business, but we're going to get back at it. If everything works out, I believe Tony Finn of WagerTalk and Rob Vino, who is the two-time reigning NBA champion at WagerTalk, will be joining us, and that's a good thing. We're on the eve of college basketball. And I'm going to be the $2 man tomorrow at SportsMemo.com. That means you get my best play of the day for just $2. And, what a great way to test drive it. But you should never, ever allow yourself to evaluate a professional such as myself on just one play. And I can tell you in a nutshell why that is. In college basketball, and I'll just pull up the numbers here, It's been like I have never had a season over 61%. Yet I have never had a season worse than 48.7%, and that's the consistency that has run over the last 10 years. 8 of the last 10 NCAA tournaments and NIT tournaments have been profitable, and last year I was 15-25 in the tournament, which marked the second of the last 10 tournament seasons where I didn't make the clients money. But over the last 7 seasons, I am 57.3% against the spread for a 421-334 loss record, and that's spanning 755 picks, I think. So I'm going to welcome my good pals here. This is like a reunion now.
Wow, Robbie.
This is like F in Tony, man. That sounds like geometry. Square peg in round hole.
F
in Tony.
plus T equals something bad.
The Dallas Cowboys losing to Denver.
That's not a surprise.
How's Rob Vino?
We're good. I'm actually, Tony and I are at odds this evening coming off the NBA tip-off show, so... It's like, remember when it used to be for Sawbucks, Tone, but it was always between you and Ski. Now all of a sudden,
Ski would go broke. Ski would already be broke. He'd already be jumping with betting the Lakers.
I guess you had a pretty good weekend too, Mr. Vino, from what I saw.
Did you?
With the band that you're involved with.
Oh yeah!
I think that's the coolest thing. I'll let you give the details if you want.
Naked women, lots of quaaludes.
Well, a lot of younger women, but
the Stone Pony.
Yeah, for those watching that don't know, my oldest son is in a band. He's a drummer, and obviously, my wife and I, every opportunity we get to go see them play live. They're actually on a headline tour right now, where they played in Asbury Park, New Jersey, Friday night. So I was absent.
Asbury Jukes, Southside Johnny, and the Asbury Jukes.
But yeah, it's cool. It's
awesome.
To see your kid up there to see people react. They sold the place out. The Stone Pony indoor venue only holds about 1,000 to 1,200 people, so it was shoulder to shoulder.
That's the best kind. Best venues.
Everybody's obviously a whole 20-something crowd, and everybody's lit up.
You fit right in, Rob. You fit right in.
I look like I'm 20-something, I think. Right?
I do fight for position because I'm always looking for the best angle to watch my kid directly.
When you're shoulder to shoulder in a venue like that, and you're on two quaaludes, you can't fall over. It's a great place to be.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's a lot of jumping around, and over the course of girls jumping around, you find a lot of long hair ending up, in your mouth. So
Rob,
it's a tight venue.
Man, I love
but
that.
It was great.
It's great
to watch kids real quick. Just to watch.
I want to be there.
Any parent will tell you this. To watch your own kid get that kind of reaction from many people is, I feel, John, and I say this to my friends and family that have seen them play, that I feel like I've seen them play forever now. I mean, they are now upgraded to the point where they headline shows. But I feel like at some point when they start the show, the emotional part for me as a father would wear off, but it never wears off. They start the show, and you're still, at least I find myself to be still emotional when the show starts, and to see the reaction, like I say, when they walk on stage. It's crazy, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We'll see them again December the 5th. They're now headed, I think they were in Richmond, Virginia, Saturday night. They're, God, I have a hard time keeping track of them, but they're heading out to California. Then they turn around and come back December 5.
Yeah.
We will see them in Wilmington, Delaware for the finale of the tour, which will be, it's always a special show when it's in the Philadelphia area. They do a couple added things, and they really, that's their biggest crowd when they're
What
home.
is it? Is it all? I asked you once what kind of music it was. What month?
It's totally evolved, Tone. When they started, they were punk pop with a lot of screaming, and they've gone. This is their third album, which you know, I don't want to get too drawn out here. They were signed by a record label to a contract, and the record label held a 3-album option. At any point, they could drop them. If your first album sucks, we drop your second album. They're now touring on the 3rd album. So once this tour is over, their decision negotiating to go major or go independent, one or the other. But they lost that year to COVID, which kind of stopped their ascension. They were on a pretty good rise, and now they're back on the road. They're on a pretty good rise. I don't think things are going to get shut down.
Who are they fronting for? Who they opening for?
They're not. People are opening for them right now. They're headlining.
Wow.
They're the last act, which is different when you're used to. Yeah. Now they come on at 9:45, and they get an hour 15 minutes. So then it's 9:45. It's 11 o'clock. You wait 45 minutes for them to break down the stage so you can see your kid. Yeah. And then you leave Asbury Park, John. It's a 2-hour plus ride home. We got home about 2 a.m. Friday morning.
And you probably went right by me.
That's good stuff. You were talking about that venue, Robbie. And there's a venue where I grew up and went to school partly, but back in the old days, the 1800s, as long as you could see over the ticket counter or over the bar, they were going to serve you and let you in. But I was a front row with a pint of Jim Beam and a Quaalude in me, and I saw Johnny Winter. Well, it was a real limit. It was a real roar, and one with a pint. My goodness gracious! But I was in the little video. I saw Johnny Winter, front row to see Johnny Winter, not Edgar. Johnny, who's the real blues man of that family. Mm-hmm. And I stood up. I said, I got to go to the bathroom before Johnny starts. It was folding chairs, and I stood up, and we weren't wall to wall. I said, oh shit, and I fell to my right, and the whole front row dominoed and went over, and the whole crew that was setting up Winter, they all applauded me. It was one of the best nights of my life. Yeah,
I bet.
Johnny Winter, front row. Is it Johnny Winter? Front row.
Well,
he's a legend.
Mr. Finn, I don't know. Rob's too humble because he said, "Oh yeah, my son's playing over in."
No! Listen, I got a neighbor, John.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish.
Just like John, hold on a second. Just like Rob, he goes to see he goes to see his stripper daughter, and he's a proud man every night. Go ahead.
Well, it's a little bit different being a drummer and a stripper. I think they're a little different. I mean, they both use their hands, I guess, but
Stones need a drummer. Nothing. It's not too early to say, is it? Stones need a drummer. Go ahead.
The Stone Pony is legendary. Guess. I know you've never been there, probably, but guess who made their start there?
Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
What a genius I am.
So that's how I said. Rob was so humble. He says, "Well, they're playing in New Jersey. I'm not sure where. I think." I look it up and I go, "Holy crap!"
Southside Johnny, Asbury Jukes, Bruce Springsteen. That area was loaded with musicians, good musicians, good.
And then, Rob, what would you say? From 1990 to 2010, that area Long Branch, at Asbury Park kind of tanked.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now it really is coming back.
Yeah, I will say this. Now, my son's band has played there 4 times within the last couple of
that's
years.
amazing.
The outdoor venue during the summer, and then the indoor venue, which I was just at the other night in the winter. But every time I drive in, when you enter Asbury Park now, I tell you what, it's a really cool place. And the stage set, when they're outdoors, is right on the ocean. It's really, really nice. Indoor, like I say, is cramped. It's tight. But the renovation in that area really has picked up. And you drive in there and you just think, man, this would be the coolest place to live.
Are they fixing up the old places that was the one thing I went to in Boston a couple years ago, and a couple guys were pretty stubborn, but they were tearing down the old dives that I really liked that were about 10 minutes, 15 from Fenway Park, and they were putting in the Applebee's and I was like, oh my goodness gracious, talk about ruining an appetite. I could have got a greasy burger, and I got to get this clean white tablecloth, and 13-year-old waitress with braces serving me in a burger at Applebee's.
I'm going to say
don't get all excited about that image that I just put up there, guys.
The section where the music venue is, Stone Pony, is really not commercialized. I mean, we eat in the same restaurant before the show every time, and it's more, local stuff in Asbury Park, not really commercialized. In fact, maybe I saw a Dairy Queen. I think I saw a Dairy Queen on the way out.
That's banana splits. Dairy Queen banana splits.
It is on the ocean.
One of the best.
Yeah, it's really nice. Really nice.
The best dinners I ever had. We didn't have dinner night. Oh, Dairy Queen banana split, please. Extra pineapple.
So it's been a while for us, and this is good of this is like a reunion. I don't even know.
We haven't talked about sports once yet, have we?
No.
No, we're going to get John Ryan to Wilmington to see the band on December 5th.
Yeah.
How about Vegas? When are they going to play in Vegas?
They played there one time,
How long ago?
2019.
Well, I was here. How come you didn't tell me?
I know. That's on me.
He's humble, man.
I've been here I've been here for 25 years. But I've lived here for 7 years now.
And in fact, Teddy's son is about 11 or 12 years old.
I know his son very well. His son gives me trouble just like Teddy does every time I see him.
They let him stand side stage while they played. Teddy says, the only band poster Isaac has in his room is a grayscale poster, so you'll be happy to know that. But if they get up there, Tom, the problem with Las Vegas,
Teddy's got ABBA posters in his room, so I like his son better already.
I'm learning a lot about when they travel, these travel routes the last 5 years. And when you travel on a music tour, they have A cities, B cities, C cities. And Las Vegas falls into the category of C cities.
Yeah, I bet it does.
And, they just don't do C tours too often. A is your largest markets in the state. B is your next largest, and C falls third.
The problem with Vegas is you're either gonna be big,
right,
or you're gonna be that band that's that's playing for free in Fremont at one of the side stages at Fremont.
Right. It was an outdoor tour, Warped Tour, and they played at Fremont, down on Fremont.
Love it. That's my favorite place to go. I prefer Fremont. I can just sit there and drink and watch people for 4 hours and be entertained beyond measure,
Well, you're lucky there, Tony, in Vegas. You take a couple Quaaludes and you're in Paris.
Yep.
And you're still in Vegas.
I don't have to take any
and you could be anywhere in the world there. You got the pyramids.
Wherever I want to be. I'm rich beyond measure. I'm a lucky man. I'm wealthy as they come.
So,
Tony, how's your football been doing?
Not very good last weekend. Not very good. Well, the game I won, both games that I won, I probably shouldn't have won them. So it was a good weekend.
That's how I look at it usually.
I had South Florida, and plus the points because I thought Houston was going to they were going to be emotionally taxed a little bit from that SMU game. Well, I covered that game and because I had 2 touchdown return, 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Right.
At halftime, it was ridiculous. Houston, listen, I wanted this to happen because I wanted to come back and play Houston this week minus the 21 or 22 against Temple. Well, I got it in, and it's already 25. Because Houston, South Florida is better, much better than Temple. Their coach, I really like him. Second-year coach they have. He's going the right way. He's he's a Clemson guy. Whatever. If you like Dabo, and I do, I may not like the way Dabo talks to the press, but I like the results he gets. So, but they're gonna. Temple's not very good, guys. I think we all know that as well. And Houston just running over South Florida. I mean, running over them. Wow.
Yeah, Temple. The quarterback at South Florida has made a difference. How about all the kickoff returns for touchdowns in Houston games the last 2 weeks? SMU ran one back. Houston runs one back with 30 seconds left to win that game.
Win it.
And South Florida runs 2 back. I mean, Houston special teams, coverage, and return units are just touchdowns waiting to
I'm
happen.
thinking maybe kicking the ball out of bounds if I was the coach and say, listen, get up there.
Seriously.
Maybe if you can get it to 35 and kick it out of bounds, I'm really happy.
That kid holds he holds the NCAA record, or he's tied with the record with 8 kickoff returns for a touchdown. And there's 30 seconds left in the game, and he does that.
Is there a possibility? Is there any? The guy that returned it or the one that kicked it? John?
The one that returned it.
Oh yeah, no, he's got not only have 8, he's got 6 punt returns. No one's better than that kid. He's got all the records, and there's a certain skill to that. Devontae Hall. Yeah, remember Devontae? Or Dante Hall?
Yeah.
Dante
the
Hall.
Chiefs. Yep.
One of those guys that the Chiefs would hold. There'd be 10 holds on his return. They'd never call it because the officials couldn't take your eyes off Hall. They wouldn't call. I mean, some kids just have that move to the right, to the left, and they get and bad officials like we have in the NFL are paying attention. But to whoever's running, and it's just that I think that I'm embellishing, obviously. But when you retain 8 kickoffs and 6 punts in your career, there's something you're doing something right. It's not all fortune, fortuitous. You're not being. It's just good stuff. Good stuff.
They work on it, right? But Sonny Dykes, they have to kick a 52-yard field goal just to tie that thing, so they get lucky there. And then you just turn around and kick off to that kid. Are you stupid?
I couldn't believe when I saw the highlight, but
make no sense. But
listen, he's one of those. You guys, you're right. He's one of those guys that will take that thing. If he catches it 9 yards deep in the end zone, he's bringing it out. And guess what? He's got green light. He's got the green light.
He should.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. They obviously worked on it.
Well, it requires some team blocking too, at least a little bit.
They know what they have as a return guy, and they work on it.
They go a little bit extra then. I had Nebraska.
Jesus, they're the same thing every day.
I had Ohio State.
I thought Nebraska. I said to sprinkle the money line because the line looked dumb to me. How the hell can Penn State be 18.5-point road? You're telling me that Nebraska's better than Penn State now?
What do you mean?
I know it was at Nebraska.
They can score more. They can score more.
Well,
no, but I
one
thought
of the top 5 defenses in Penn State.
Who? Well, yeah, that's
Penn
what
State.
I meant, though. Yeah, well, they used to. I got very lucky with North Carolina. I had the over in that. I remember I told you that the scoreboard was getting broke. It did. They broke the scoreboard, and they may break it again this weekend. Pittsburgh and North Carolina. That one, another total 70s, could break the scoreboard in that as well.
Yeah.
I lost with Auburn.
I did too.
I looked dumb in hindsight with that one. I had TCU, which was a nice win.
Yeah, I didn't. I wouldn't touch that. Although I would play against. Go ahead.
And my last college play was Indiana, which again in hindsight looked like, what the hell am I on? Tony Finn's Quaaludes or something?
But yeah,
they really didn't have. They didn't have a chance. They did, but they
And
did.
I didn't.
And as a guy who had the other side of that game, John, I laid 20.5 with Michigan. I still had to sweat all the way to the end to cover that thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan did not make it easy, kicking field goal after field goal after field goal. And you're just praying, at least in my shoes, I'm praying, please don't let Indiana hit one big play
And
for all 60 minutes. Because if they hit one, they're going to lose.
Yeah, they're not. They're better. If I like an under, Indiana's involved. They're a lot better defensively than they get credit for. And personally, I think they're pretty pathetic offensively on the most cases. And when they're really good, they somehow screw it up. I don't know why.
Their quarterbacking stinks right now.
Yes, it
I mean,
does.
they're down to the third or fourth guy, and they just can't move the football through the air. It's a shame because the tight end Hendershot and Freifogel, the wide receiver, they're both really, really good players, but this guy can't get him the ball, so it doesn't matter.
How about the third
to play
quarterback?
defense.
You guys doing it? Do you watch a conference? You watch conference USA fall USA at all? CSU?
Oh, yeah, I had a couple plays in Conference USA this week.
Well, I had Western Kentucky got outgained by
Yeah.
Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State is on the third quarterback. Okay,
Yeah, Chase Cunningham was out, yeah.
they are horrendous. How are they laying 10 this weekend? I'm taking the 10 because they were as good as they could possibly be and still got doubled up on the scoreboard last weekend, but just not very good. They're offensively, they're horrible right now, and we'll see. But I thought the line was a 10. I don't think it'll stay there. I think I played it, I released it, and I think it's the best number we're going to get. So I don't know how you
What
feel
do
about that.
you faded middle? Is that what you're telling me? You faded?
Faded them last week and on them this
Right.
week. Faded them this week as well. But they're minus 10. How's this team ever minus 10 to anybody? Bowling Green. Maybe that's why. But I'll take Bowling Green and I'll take the under as well. Under. How about under?
I'll give you something funny to laugh at real quick here.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I've been a proponent of Western Kentucky since
Yeah.
the summertime with the transfers from Houston Baptist. But I'm reading an article written by a MTSU writer prior to that game because I'm trying to learn a little bit about the third teamer now that Chase Cunningham's out for MTSU. Right. And his article says Middle Tennessee's defense is really something to be reckoned with. And I'm thinking to myself, something to be reckoned with. They played like UConn and the two opponents before Western were absolute garbage. And then Western comes out and scores whatever they score on them. Pretty 40
Was it a fan-sided
score that game?
I get a kick. I agree with you 100%. I will typically go to the MAC or the USA or even Sunbelt, although I think I have guys who are pretty reliable there. But you're right. You go to fan-sided, they'll say some things, and they don't just say it. They put it in writing that I just get a big smile out of because it couldn't be more wrong. It couldn't be more wrong. And that's the beauty of being I remember when I was a fan, and my team, they could do wrong, but for the most part, if someone started bad mouthing my team, I got their back. So there you go.
Well, they're going to play Marshall. I think Western Kentucky still plays Marshall, which will be a really good game probably for that division title.
Yep.
Now that Marshall beat Florida Atlantic.
That is a pretty good game. Yeah.
No, Marshall beat Florida Atlantic Saturday, right? So we'll see. But that's quite the turnaround offensively for WKU. Just go to Houston Baptist, take their quarterback, take their offensive coordinator, take their receivers, take their offensive philosophy, and you'll win Conference USA.
I apologize to you guys. I'm wrong about that today. You made me you made me remember, and that was, and I'm going to pull it up because I've got to make sure I better not say anything else until I'm certain.
Uh-oh.
And that is Florida International.
Yeah, they stink.
Well, guess what? That's who's getting 10. Not Bowling Green. It's Florida International. That is why, and I started doing some work on.
Wow.
And so when you're Middle Tennessee State, and you're laying points, it's probably someone like Florida International.
Yeah, because Old Dominion just scored 48 on Florida International.
But listen, if Tennessee can have 160 yards of total offense, and score 28 points and beat the Rams at SoFi, anything can happen on any given Saturday, let alone any given Sunday.
That FAU team And what they do have is really, really good wide receivers. That's Butch Davis's team, right? The Cowboys had Butch Davis, and just they don't get any better. That quarterback that they used was a quarterback from Maryland a year when Maryland went through like 4 quarterbacks, and then they got to this kid Bortenschlager, and he goes down there, and he's just as bad as I remember him.
And wait, now that you bring this up, and I know I have another show, 16 minutes, but here's the deal. Are we ready for college basketball?
Oh my God! I looked at that board.
Holy S!
Guess who's on WagerTalk tomorrow?
Yesterday.
Teddy.
Well, here's the deal. Have you ever been on it before?
Yeah, this will be I guess my 6th time.
They won't even invite me. I'm pissed now. Come on. Okay, here's the deal. Hey, Tony, how you feeling about this? Well, I'm sorry. Time is up. And the thing I love, Lawrence, you know him. He's my buddy. Been my buddy for years. But I always get kind of shaky because everything's 100 miles an hour. Lawrence,
we have a couple.
Love you. Slow down before you have a nut attack.
We have a couple shows now at SportsMemo TV where I hosted and we did.
Time up. Sorry.
Picks.
Good.
If I hosted like that, it'd be wrong. But four picks. Myself, 2 other guests, Jesse Schule, Dr. Chuck, and then another show with Rocky Atkinson and Buster.
Hey, where's Rocky?
Don Buster.
Back. I told you.
4 picks with good enough breakdown. There's absolutely no fluff. It's just like, here's who I like, and here's a couple of things I'm looking at, and this is why I like them.
Why? This is what I like. I'm not even going to say anything else. Play. Yeah, I like this team, and if you don't like that I like this team, F you too. Go on. Next game.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. And so we're starting to get some pretty good numbers too, pretty quickly.
Where's Rocky?
Challenging that.
Rocky hasn't been back since we ran him off.
You know what's bad though is I had almost 5,000 views on an NBA solo show.
Right. Well,
I'm starting to
give away $100 gift certificates to the bar.
Who the heck would? There's 5,000 degenerates out there that would watch me for 2 minutes to get an NBA pick. Well, if that's the case, there must be 10,000.
Well, maybe
if it's for free. If it's for free, you'd be surprised.
Oh yeah, and if it wins.
We had a brand new New York pizza place open up a block from the house. Okay, they advertised. I've never had their pizza. I don't know, but if there's a good pizza joint, there's not a good pizza joint within any walking distance for me, and that's necessary. And you have to sell it by the slice. Long story short, it is Tony's Pizza.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Heat it up.
Well, we have Tony Luke's here in
$5 a slice. $5 a slice. 18 for a 12-inch or 6. They say it's a 16-inch, but by the time I cooked that Tony's Pizza, it shrunk about 3-4 inches. So,
really?
It's
shrinking pizza.
Well, how many times I came home from when I was a GM for one of these? I won't tell you the name of the restaurant, but the initials are Chi-Chi's. And I'd come home from closing the joint down, put a Tony's Dollar Pizza in. I wake up the next morning. Smell burn. And I'd open up the oven at Tony's Pizza, about that big, black, and depending on how hungry I was, it might need a little milk, but cocoa puffs.
Oh yeah,
I'm kidding.
Cocoa puffs.
How many of those pizzas I burnt? How many Tony's pizzas I burnt because I was a little bit toasted. Put it in, fall asleep. Yeah,
I must say though, Teddy, it's rapid fire, right? You're on there, and all of a sudden it's over. I did that Sirius XM thing with him.
Who's that?
And I had Teddy was hosting, and it was
Teddy show.
I've done that a couple times. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
And that's different though. I mean, it's still pretty fast paced, but it's not that 2-minute pressure.
Catering those millennials. Bottom line, if everything's 100 miles an hour, and if you can't make a penny on it, then I'm not involved. And if you can't screw the old man or the old lady, they have no money to fight back, and then not involved.
Yes, I've been on WagerTalk today every Friday for the last over a year now, and they used to have me do 3 games, and I got tired of listening to Prez tell me that I talk too much. So I, because we know, the way the clock is. The way the clock is, if you go first on that show, you have till about 12:23, and that's when they got a break and they go to Teddy's big game breakdown.
Yeah.
And so to do 3 games, you got to get on there. You got to have 15 minutes. You got to get in there 12:08. But Prez will come out and talk about these ridiculous stories until 12:14.
Grateful Dead.
And then say, okay, Rob, jam your 3 games into these 7 minutes now.
You got a pick for us, Rob?
So what I did was I only do 2 now because I know that's part of the deal. We're going to talk about something off topic until about 12:12 or whatnot, and then you get 2 games in. So that's the way you handle that. But unless you can go really, really fast.
I'm going to I put in my audition tape to do my own HBO special.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, you should see the audition tape. It's perfect. It's all voice.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. I just took some tape from some of the best announcers ever and then lip synced it, and I'm sure to get the job.
You could go 2 different ways. That could be comedic, a comedian.
Well,
on stage,
me, I'm about as dry as they come. I'm not very fun. I could never be.
No, you're completely dulled.
There's no more fun than that NBA tip-off show. There really isn't any more fun. Joe is such a ball buster.
Yeah, then
Are you telling me that it's time for the John Ryan NBA angle of the day to be put into the show and he doesn't know it?
The way Robert's getting used to that buzzer, that angle might get the buzzer. Now everybody gets the buzzer all of a sudden.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing. And Joe, I don't have to, but I've been pissing Joe off for a couple years, and I enjoy it so damn much that I will purposely stumble through my free picks sometimes, so I go over and then keep talking just to see if he'd cut me, just kick me off, And he has several times. But he still thinks that I don't know how to make it before the buzzer. He still says, can't. You're right. Have you not figured it out? I'm doing that purpose now yet, Joe? If I can't say, here's my play. Yeah, it's funny. But he'll keep buying. He keeps biting the apple and asking for a ride on Noah's Ark.
Man. One male, one female, right? Was on the Ark.
Well, yeah, but that's not Joe's cup of tea, is it? He likes Dunkin' Donuts. In fact, if I can't find Joe, I just call that Dunkin' Donuts right there in Key West in Palm, West Palm. He's always there. I can hear him in the background. Tell him I'm not here.
I think there's probably more than one Dunkin' Donuts in West Palm.
Not next to Joe's house.
Tony, right after you left NBA tip-off today, Andy Lang told us that New York today issued the gambling permits to everybody except Barstool. Barstool did not get one. FanDuel got one. DraftKings got one.
And Barstool,
you know what they got?
What?
51% tax. 51% tax.
Oh, you can't.
Well, then guess what? You can.
It's not going to work.
That's bad. It's going to be
horrible.
Passed off to the clients.
Well, that's the infinite wisdom of that. What do you call it? Government? I don't know what that is. 51%.
That's not.
When you take your business to a bankrupt state that needs money in such a desperate ass way, and they just rake you over the coals for it. I can't imagine the VIG on those games if you're in New York and you're betting minus 136.
Here's the deal with that. I mean,
the barbershops are going to open up again.
New Jersey's doing more sportsbook business than why if you're in New York, if it's New York City, if you're not in New York City, if you're in New York City, then all you have to do is get on the bridge.
Take the train.
Yeah,
they
all got apps. They're not doing 60 million without apps. Now they may not be able to. It may be like our Nevada apps here where you can't play them outside the. But there's always ways around that. Always. And if you're listening, I'm not telling.
So should we give the viewers a round of best bets for the night?
Give them some losers. How many winners can they buy? They have to like some change. We give them nothing but winners. They got to want some losers.
Well, I mean, who said that? If you have a best bet, you have a worse,
hear me? I just
bet.
said it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said it differently, though. It was a lot more funny the first time.
Yeah. So was my wife, but then that's another story. So.
Best bets evolve into worst bets, too, and vice versa.
They can. Yeah.
I don't know. Tony and I just gave NBA best bets from teams we had to choose from, and we wound up on the opposite side of the Golden State.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll write down my best bet, and I'll pass it to you. You write yours down. You pass it to me.
Okay.
And then we'll start the music, and see who gets stuck without a chair.
You want to go first, Rob?
I hate the NFL, so I didn't play that game. So
God, I love the NFL card. I love this.
You like it?
The Saturday
tonight. You like that?
The under 30.
Let's give them something different than what we just talked about on tip-off. Here's where I'll go. First half, Minnesota and Memphis over 110. Mm-hmm. When I played it, 110, I jumped early without any confirmation that D'Angelo Russell was back. He's still a question mark. He's probably still a question mark.
I heard he's probable.
If he does play, that number's going to go up, obviously. Yep. But we got over 110. Hey, listen, the way I play NBA, a lot of it is based upon coming back to the norm. And both of these teams shot so miserably their last game. Memphis, I think, was 36% from the field. Minnesota was maybe even less without Russell in that game. The pace will be there, obviously, but really what sold me on it more than anything was I saw a quote from Minnesota's head coach who said, the last couple of games we've let go of the rope defensively. They're 8 games into the season, and already Minnesota's back to their tendencies of not playing any defense whatsoever. So he tried his best to convince this team, and they got Patrick Beverley too to think that would help.
Well, see if Russell's back, right, then Beverly's going to sit more too.
Yeah, well, definitely. Right. But the idea here is Memphis should get theirs, especially first half, and Minnesota still with Towns and Anthony Edwards, they still manage to be good enough to, and Memphis hasn't played a lot of defense either. So I thought 110, these numbers have come way down because unders have been so prevalent to start the year. I mean, if you're betting unders, Tony Finn, you're money on top of the world right now.
Money.
Cash. And last year when we would see 110, we wouldn't blink at playing over 110.
No.
This year we have to sit there and, figure it out. But I'm on this. I'm on Minnesota, Memphis, over 110 first half. I wouldn't be surprised if game gets over. If you wait for Russell to be officially announced, you're going to wind up being 219 maybe full game, and you probably wind up being 111 and a half, 112 first half as well. So
how about this?
I hopped in early. Go ahead.
How about 102 and a half for a first half total?
In the Miami game?
No, Dallas.
Oh.
It may not get there.
That's another one with Brandon Graham, right? Is he going to play or not? If he doesn't play,
if Ingram doesn't play, then I'm on. That's the whole deal. One of the shows we did, I said this San Antonio team can't shoot from the 3. They're playing under because neither of these teams can shoot. In this game, I'm with you. I'm on a first half over free. In the show, my complimentary best bet over first half. And 4 starters are out.
Oh, the Knicks and Sixers.
That's correct.
I like it.
So who are you taking the Knicks and the Sixers?
Over.
First half over.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I was going to give for the show, but I can always give another one.
You can give the same one.
I mean, it wouldn't be a show if we didn't talk something about Philly. I mean, Villanova, preseason number 4.
I sent a check. I sent $100 check to Ben Simmons to make sure he could eat this week.
Who's he?
Your brother from another mother.
Does anybody really know what's going on with that? But
well, I'd like to be a fly on the wall. And that's a book. That's a book. It's a miniseries. It's a reality show.
It is.
I mean, if those reports today, if anything, like if Boston is stupid enough to trade Jaylen Brown to the Sixers, they're not for Ben Simmons. And if Joel Embiid gets Jaylen Brown, they win the East.
Now I heard that Philly was going to give Embiid for Brown, and that's when I said, "Well, that makes more sense." Wow. That sounds like Philly.
Yeah, it does.
I swear to God.
Yeah, they traded Wilt.
But I'll go with the Sixers instead of the over, which Mr. Finn took. I do like the Sixers, and it's pretty obvious why. You guys would know why.
I know
Effective
why.
field goal percentage, 57.5, number 1 in the NBA. 3-point percentage. It's not Golden State. It's Philadelphia, 39.4, number 1. Shooting efficiency, 1.2. That ranks best in the NBA. Shooting percentage,
but that's
number
with Embiid.
1. Not all. This is his third rest game, I think, isn't it, Rob? Or at least second. And he's not. I don't even know if what's he averaging per game? I don't know off the top of my head.
I'll do this for you. I'll just tell you right now what the
effective field goal percentage has to be.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to say is I've watched their games, and the games I don't watch at night, I'll watch in the morning just on those quick replays. But their ball passing is just unreal, and they're playing unselfishly. Thibault is playing out of his mind, and now he's contributing offensively.
He's out. He's out. Everybody's out.
Well, they're all out. Tobias is out. They're all out COVID. It's amazing.
But they beat the Bulls in that. They had a very short bench, and they beat the Bulls.
But
so,
like I was saying before, it took Joel to do that. Joel was a absolute mountain in that game.
With
32 and 15 or whatever he had.
The funny thing about Joel is this, and that is, without Joel, the net rating for the Sixers is minimally different. No, it's minimal. It's minimal.
Do you think the Sixers score 111 or more points tonight?
Well, only if Embiid doesn't play.
You think they'll score more than 111 because you have the over, right?
He's got over, yeah.
All right, so that's what my models say, over 111 for the Sixers, and the Sixers are 36-16 with one push in home games when scoring 111 or more the last 3 seasons.
Without Embiid, the net rating for the Sixers goes up.
Yeah, the propensity for an over, but the most amazing thing,
the net rating goes up.
What do you mean a net rating?
Possessions per their net rating.
Yeah. So you know this, but maybe the listeners don't. Field goals attempt per game. The Sixers are dead last in pace. Dead last. 30. What do I have here? 83.2 shots per game. But they're scoring a league 6th best, 111.1 points per game.
Yeah, 116.
So there you go.
116 and a half points per 100 possessions with Joel. Without him, 120.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not fair, Tone, because take Tobias Harris out of that,
right.
too. Take Danny Green out of that, too. Take them all out.
Let me do that. Let me take them out for you. Let me take out.
Take Tobias Harris out of there.
Okay, who else do we take out?
Because when Joel's out, they run their offense through Tobias Harris.
Okay,
they did that last year because they couldn't run it through
Okay,
Simmons.
Tobias is out. How about who else do you want me to take out? Just those two?
Yeah, because Green might try it on the bad hamstring.
Without Tobias and Joel, 123.3 points per 100 possessions.
So faster.
That's what the F is. Here's the deal. It's a 9-game. These sample sizes, you have to be a little careful this time of year as well of wholeheartedly trusting metrics, because I am one of those we talked about on the show, and I think Rob agrees with me. At some point in time, there's going to be some regression. Miami's going to be. We're going to, when you make that decision to get off a team because you know that regression is coming, that's when you win. And so,
yeah, that's good.
New York, we were on New York early, couple games early, and we figured they would probably suffer. They have a lot to learn. They have to learn how to play outside that isolation offense they played with Randall for 82 games last year. And here's the deal. I read somebody this morning was just pimping beyond measure the Clippers and how they, in the last 3 games, how they have learned to score and play defense in the same game. And here's what I read it. I don't have to see anything else. I know. As George goes, so go the Clippers. The other day, listen, Clippers were down 18 or 19 points, 17 points. They were down 15, double digits. I looked. George had 8 points in the first 16 minutes of the game. He ended up with 35. They ended up winning by 10. Everything that happens flows through George. If he can't score, if he doesn't score, if he's not on the court, this Clippers team is Dallas. Now, until they get Leonard back, obviously.
So Kawhi comes back, right?
Right. Yeah.
And all those pieces that showed up big in last year's playoffs, right? They didn't get, like the Terrence Manns and all those guys, they didn't get off to real good starts. But the last few games, all those complimentary guys have been better.
And without Beverly, there's no – I mean, Clippers are leaderless. I mean, vocally, there's no mouth. Right. Even George isn't a mouth guy, but Leonard certainly isn't. But Beverly was that mouth. He's the guy that's, jump in your face and you better start playing harder or, we're going to kick your butt, those kind of things.
Yeah, they got back and started making some threes again. Remember last year they were like the number 1 3-point percentage team in the NBA, and now they made like 20-something on Friday night.
Yeah, they did. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. But
they're a finesse team.
Yeah, they are. They are.
The Clips.
Let me ask you guys a quick question before Rob does his final bet. And we can do this really quick. Just pretend you're on the NBA tip-off show or other shows that are fast-paced.
They'll mute me.
Yeah. So the under is 94-51-1 through November 7th this year, 65%, 64.6 actually. No season that I've seen has even come close to it. 2011, 58.3%, 89, 58, and 8. That's through the first 10 games for each team. So I take it a little bit further, and I do it by team. So the best teams are Charlotte, New York, Orlando. There's only 3 teams that are over 500 on the total. Oh. And that's Orlando's 3rd, 6-5, New York 6-4, Charlotte 8-3. Now you're looking at the teams that are on the under. Denver is the worst at 1-8, which means 8-1 to the under. Yes, Minnesota 7-1 under. Dallas. That sticks out to me. There's 6-1-2 on the under, and is that a team along with Golden State at 2-7 to the under? That are even Philadelphia 3-7.
Well, it's not because
specifically
Dallas.
Golden State and Dallas. Is that a team that you would look at to play over now, going like the next 2 weeks?
No, I wouldn't Golden State until they return a couple guys. And Dallas, no, because Dallas will eventually. They want to play faster, but they're just not deep enough. I mean, they don't have a bench that without Porzingis and Doncic. I mean, this team is about 84 points per 100 possessions. That's not very good. It's not because they're that good defensively either.
Well, Porzingis missed 27 games last year.
Porzingis.
That is his back, I guess. He just doesn't get.
Well, he came back Saturday, and the first game he played, they went over against Boston. Yeah, 2-11, I think. Right? They got that over, or did it go over? Tone, I got to go back.
So they were low 6-2 to that point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember what that total was. It's a 107-104 final because Luka hit the 3.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
It stayed under?
No, it went over.
Okay. So Porzingis back, first game back. They get another. They need Maxi Kleber back because that lengthens the bench. And they're trying to work all those new parts in. Like I saw Reggie Bullock's minutes all of a sudden have gone up to 26.
Yeah.
And he was only playing about 7 or 8 to start the year. So they got pieces on that bench that weren't with that team. They got work to do. Golden State, me and Tony just talked about this on the other show. They're under, in my estimation, it's only my opinion, they're under or so heavy to the under because the teams that they played the worst garbage offenses. If you just look at strength of schedule and the offenses they played, you can't play OKC, New Orleans without Ingram and Williamson, and so on and so forth. They're just not playing anybody that can score. So their defensive numbers, now they may be a good defensive team. They may prove me wrong, but right now I'm still skeptical that they're any good on the defensive side.
I'm supposed to tell you,
Yes.
if that's the case, then the adjustments have been made. The books are making that adjustment in the handicap, in the total himself, if they're playing it, that's what we're supposed to. But that's this time of the year. Listen, they're still trying to wrap their arms around some teams too. They really are.
Yeah, we don't even have 10 games in yet.
Right.
How about the Nets? The Nets have
I'll
gone
tell you something about
under
the Nets.
the total by 128 points.
Yep. I'm telling you why it is. You look at the second rotation without Harden and without KD. This team is -4. Let me just pull it up. I think it's -43. They look at how many points they scored against Detroit Saturday with that whatever. 11 points in the second quarter. They went 4 minutes without those two on the floor, and that's bad. Look, Denver tonight without Jokic. Okay, they are lost, and I don't mean bad. I mean they are a mess. -45. That's without Barton and. I'm showing
the Nuggets
right
are
now.
actually number one in the league. They've gone under by a combined total of 175.5 points.
Yeah, I mean
That's 17.5 per game.
last year they had a stretch last year. Remember they had that stretch without Murray last year, but they had some help. They were getting some help offensively from a guy named Porter Jr., who's averaged about 8 points a game. He was averaging about 20 points a game too then. He wasn't playing any defense, getting lots of minutes, scoring some points, and he's pretty talented. I mean, let's be honest. This kid can score, but when you can't, guard a cardboard figure, it's tough. You're gonna get lost somewhere in the mix in the NBA. There's lots of guys who can score 20 a game.
That's true.
He creates mismatches.
And obviously, he might have been playing injured because that back has him out now. And remember, the
That's
back
true.
is what kept him on the bench at Missouri, and the back is what kept him out of the first year in Denver, and all of a sudden he's got back issues again. But I'll say this. If you want to point the finger at somebody else, how about Aaron Gordon? Aaron Gordon's a 20-point per game scorer in Orlando, and Aaron Gordon has not – what's he get a night? Like 8 points? That guy's worthless on offense with this team.
Lillard, too. I mean, Portland is
Malone,
another mystery.
Malone has tried. He's preached that he's going to turn this team into a defensive team. Right. He has for years and years. They'll finally get it. They'll finally get. Well, they've gotten it, but now you got a team that can't score. I mean, they're 90s.
You know what though, Tone? He manufactured it.
Yes, he did.
In the wrong way. Like they're not a good defensive team, but they don't let you score because they milk the 24-second clock. It's like they're not really good defensively. They just give up a few points because they use the whole clock.
It is what I said. They're 8 points better. No, more than that. In the write-up I did on tonight's game, they're 8, 10, 12, 14. They're that much better defensively this year than they were last year. And I said much what you just said, Rob, and that is it's mostly because of the pace they're playing at too. Has improved their defensive metrics, but they're a lot worse offensively than they were last year.
As soon as Jamal Murray does come back,
yes,
all that'll change.
They'll
be back to playing quick, and they'll be back to scoring points.
Yep. Jokic will sure like it because without him on the floor, this team it's D-League. They're playing D-League.
He carries some burden on his shoulders, that guy, to score every single game.
And look at the lines. Not only is he the leading scorer and the leading rebounder, pretty much most of the time he's the leading assist guy too.
Right. How much more you want from the guy?
I don't know. And then I had guys telling me he didn't deserve the MVP. I said, well, I know some people will probably argue with you about that. It depends on your.
For at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, it depends on your.
In truth, Monte Morris and Will Barton should contribute more. They really don't.
Who was saying about Lang? Was Lang saying where the hell's Monte Morris? Was that you or Lang? One of the two.
No, that was Lang. Yep.
Yeah. Barton,
he's right.
Really, in truth, metrically, offensively, Jokic and Barton, those two, without those two on the floor, -45.
Yeah, forget
that. ridiculous.
Man, that is ridiculous. It's just like,
Yeah, because then you look at their bench is so pathetic.
Yeah. Listen, part of that's manufactured. When they made that trade, when they sold out, when they said, listen, we're going to give you our best defensive player,
Right,
Malone.
Gary Harris.
Yeah, but Malone says, but we want to be defensive. Then you should never have traded Gary Harris. Never. Because it did not. It's, I sure like Gary Harris.
It does seem like Aaron Gordon just never fit into that team. I thought they were going to be so much better with him as another option offensively, and he just doesn't fit for whatever reason. I don't know why, but
pretty important to know who's going to fit. Listen, you can put five all-stars on the floor, and they may not be able to beat the backups for there's a couple teams that have really good benches. They're not very. They're often their front line and their bench. There's not a big metrical difference between the two, and those are the guys. Those are the teams that really are difficult to lay points against because they just. You only have to have one. If you don't have a bench, look, I told you about this Nets team. Look at the metrics from when Durant, when Harden's not even having that, he's been much better the last 4 or 5 games. He has, guys. Triple doubles almost. But he's not, it's just been recently. So we'll see. I hated to say this, and I hate to say it because I think I'm wrong. And I didn't think they would be, I thought the way they played in the playoffs last year was pudding, that they didn't really need Irving. But I know this right now. This team needs him. If they have any hope to be able to beat teams like Philadelphia, Milwaukee, in that East, Miami, they can't do it. They don't have the depth. They don't have anybody that if Durant goes out, they're doomed.
Well,
they're done.
Because aside from Joe Harris, who can shoot threes. There's no. I mean, you don't. Blake Griffin. Once out of every 4 games, he shows up offensively. I mean, they just don't have guys. They don't have guys that can score.
I still don't understand that Griffin deal. I don't understand that at all because he metrically is not a measurement on that team.
He seems like a fish out of water on that team, really.
Yeah. Now there's intangibles that Blake brings, but for the most part, he gets lost. He gets lost, and you don't even know he's there half the time.
Because when the other team, we saw it in the playoffs last year, when they decide that they're going to guard Harden and Durant, and Joe Harris missed a boatload of threes in the playoffs last year. He was not good.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere else. You're going to Bruce Brown. Where are you going if you're Brooklyn? They just don't. They need.
Well, guess who's been the biggest surprise for them? And I know you're going to know. I mean, there's a guy that's been. He's been the best second liner, and he's been fantastic. But how long is that going to last? And that's Aldridge.
Oh, he has played well off of that heart problem.
Yes, I don't, but he's a guy that you can't. I don't know that you can depend on to be there in game 82 or 60, or at least healthy and whole. But he's hitting 3-pointers. Like they're not guard. They're going to start pressing him a little bit, but. If you leave him open, he's knocking everything down. He's in there scrapping, playing hard, and a big addition. Big addition.
Yeah, no, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Back to your point about second units, real quick.
Yeah.
This is why I feel like the Knicks are always a good first half bet because when these teams go to their second unit and the Knicks come at you with Derrick Rose and Quickly and Alec Burks and Toppin. They got all kinds of guys that can score where the other team usually has 3/5 dead wood out there that can't score. And the Knicks, one of those 3 guards, whether it be Rose, Quickly, or Burks, generally on a given night is going to be a 20-point scorer, one of those 3. Not all 3, but one of them is.
I agree. We knew they were going to sacrifice some defense when they signed Walker, Kemba. You're going to be sacrificing some defense because Kemba can't. His knee. He's lost a full step in the last 3 years from when he had that knee injury. He was the main guy, the main pick and roll. He handled the ball more than any Celtic before the knee injury, after the knee injury, his metrics were horrendous, and that's why he's not with Boston anymore as well. So they were sad. Boston let a couple, or at least we know that Ainge let a couple guys go that I just think Stevens would not have let them go.
And the Knicks wound up with two of them because they wound up with Evan Fournier too.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal at the trade deadline to get Evan Fournier, and then they.
Gordon. Now Hayward. I think Hayward didn't want to stay in Boston. I think they would have kept him, but he turned down more money from the Celtics to get out. Now I don't know what that's about, but he did. He turned down more money to get out and went to a team that was much less likely to be playing in the postseason. And maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. He says, "Shit, just give me my 82 week paycheck. I'm gone, or my 82 game paycheck. I'm gone." I don't know. Hayward's kind of a strange character.
You ready for your final pick, Rob?
Come on, Rob. What is it?
I thought I gave it already.
Yeah, he did.
Didn't I give Minnesota, Memphis over 110 first
yes,
half?
Yes, you did.
He did.
Yes, you did.
And I'm over in the first half of Philly and New York. And what's that number? 109.5. I think. Let me see.
Right?
Why don't you add the team total on the Sixers too?
No,
why not?
Because the Knicks are going to win by 30, and I'm going to collect my my pizza money bet.
Yeah, plus 850.
That's right.
The Knicks win by 20 or more.
Yeah, 21.
Well, that's always worth doing a pizza bet on. I love that. I mean, I don't care who the team is. But for Monday Night Football tonight, and I don't want to give away my pick tonight, but I really think, like, for DraftKings, for those guys that do that, I play around with it. Mm-hmm. Najee Harris has to be your captain tonight.
Well, I like him.
I've never seen a matchup that makes more sense than that.
I like him over 79 yards on the ground.
I have over 85.5, actually.
Oh, I got 79.
So you got a good price.
I got 79.5. Let me tell you what the juice was. That was penny, and that was early because DraftKings are always going to be a little bit. They're going to be heavy juice and heavy. They're going to steam it because they can, and they just can. I'll tell you guys, But I want to see what my juice was on that. Here we go.
Tell me what it is 15. Now, too.
Okay, minus one. I got minus. It was over 79.5, minus 115, and now it is. I better go to football. I better get off basketball.
You're not going to find it in basketball.
And I better go to. Player props too instead of game props. You can get him now, not Harris. I see they're trying to confuse me, which is really easy to do, and they pulled him off. They pulled him off the board. There you go. Okay, over 85.5 now. Over 85.5.
That's what John said. Yeah.
And minus 120. Yeah. I got 79.5 at minus 15.
Early bird gets the worm.
And by the way, guys, as we're talking here,
yeah,
it could be D'Angelo Russell because the Minnesota-Memphis game just went red all the way across. It's up to the first half is now up to 111.5, and Heritage is showing 112.
And guess
what? A 1.5 2-point increase.
Guess who just came down 2 points?
Sixers?
Charlotte and the Lakers.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony Davis has a stomachache.
Abdominal strain for LeBron last
7 minutes. I got 7 minutes for you tonight. You get 7 minutes. How do you get you, bitches?
Man,
I hated him. I hated him Friday night. I had that game over, and he walked off the floor 7 minutes in. I'm like, you son of a gun.
I mean, if you have a stomach ache, do you have to go to the nurse then, the nurse's office, and then a family member picks you up?
And you have to throw up. Or you're gonna make you sit in the damn office every 3 hours.
It's crazy. I forget who it was, but somebody predicted at the time when they announced LeBron would be out for a week Somebody said, no, it's going to be a lot more than a week.
You know what? That's the rumor
And
now.
here we go.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just, there's a couple of spots around here where that was frequent periodically. They're a little bit too far from my house, my office. But they're bookmakers. The guys that gang and bang with the bookmakers, their favorite watering holes. They've been talking about LeBron being out until after Christmas at the midway point. And not only that, they're the ones that really inspired me to. We talked a couple times that we talked. They're the ones that inspired me to challenge Ski until Ski. They're not even going to make the effing playoffs because they can't stay healthy.
Listen, they might not.
But here's the problem. I said to the guys the same thing I'll say to you, and that is, well, then tell me 8 teams though that are better, because all you have to do is make the play. All you got to do is be one of the top 8. In fact, now he's not even that because you got the play-in still. So what is it, 9, 10? I mean, it's hard not to make the damn playoffs.
Well, wouldn't it be something if Sacramento was that last team that knocked the Lakers out, and Luke Walton's the coach of the Kings? I think that would be pretty cool.
I can't believe he's still coaching the Kings.
Well,
they got some talent.
Well,
I think he's a great coach, but they got some talent.
Yeah.
Well, I like Bill Walton.
Potentially a 500 team.
Well, not with Buddy Hield. Not with anybody from Oklahoma. Nothing personal.
They've been trying to trade him for a year.
Nobody wants to
trade him.
No, and Buddy can shoot. Listen, he can hit. There's games when he won't miss, but I don't think I don't think he's I think he's not a matchup issue for most teams, and he's an average defender. So,
well, them and Charlotte are the teams that just run and gun and don't play defense. But Charlotte's number 1 in scoring defense allowed and offense.
Walton will tell you, and he already has said, we're playing much better defense than we've played in the past. True. Nobody yet has stood up and said, well, tell us something that's hard to do.
Back to the Lakers real quick.
Yeah.
They have trouble when you've got LeBron injured. Yeah. You've got Anthony Davis, you just don't know. And then that quote that Ski gave us from Russell Westbrook last week.
I'm gonna try harder.
I'll turn that bitch over 15 times. Who's gonna stop me? Did you see that?
Yeah,
fantastic. And then he went out. And then he went out that night, and on 2 of the last 3 possessions, he turned it over in a 2-point game, and he shot a 3 at the buzzer. And they lost, and the reporter asked him about it.
Yep.
And Westbrook stared at him like he was going to kill him.
Yep. Don't challenge me.
Russ doesn't care. It seems like Russ just does not. This year,
he never really did.
How many times did I tell you?
He cares a lot.
How many times, and you can say it, how many times did I say on the Tibbet Show, Westbrook will argue with cardboard figures in the crowd?
Yeah, but you can always count on him to put up number. Now, when he's saying he don't care if he turns it over 15 times, I never used to hear that out of his mouth. When he was carrying OKC on his own shoulders to the playoffs, a different player.
Yeah,
it's like I'm at the end of my career. I'm in LA. Screw this. I'll do whatever I want to do, and Frank Vogel ain't stopping me from doing it.
Outside of, he didn't have the control and the command and the discipline that LeBron. But and I've always said LeBron was the best. Listen, nobody better in transition than LeBron. You just get out of his way. Because he's going to get the call and he's going to run you over, and he might run you over and get called for the charge just to say, bitch, don't get in front of me again. But very few people were as good as Westbrook those days in Oklahoma City. When he had the ball, and if he wanted to go to that rim and he wanted to dunk it or be special, he could, and he did. Amazing athlete around that rim with the ball. Man.
All right, now last thing for you. Fill me in real quick because I want to know the answer to this.
At the end of the season,
and you got pretty good contacts with the Mavericks.
I do. Dallas Morning News, a couple guys.
So listen.
Yeah.
Toronto makes that trade in the offseason, right, with Miami.
Yep.
And they get Goran Dragic, who does not want to be there, tells them I don't want to play there. And Dallas, the whole time, is we're going to trade for Dragic. And Dallas and Toronto were in talks for a while, and it fell through. The last 7 games, Dragic hasn't gotten off the bench. Coach's decision. He doesn't play anymore up there. So why don't they just trade him to Dallas?
Good question. I should ask them, but I will say this: I bet you
They need Dragic down there.
Yeah, I'll bet you that if they could use Dragic. I mean, listen, Dragic was a pretty important piece 2 years ago when they were in the bubble and in the NBA Finals. He was a mission critical piece to that team.
Right.
It has to do with something. He's pissed somebody. Dragic is one of those guys he's not Rick Rubio. He's not Rubio pissing people off. But as one of the European players, they guys kind of beats they're funny guys. They're different guys.
Yeah. Well, and he told them, Tone. He told Toronto when they made the trade, I'm not playing for you guys. And his brother was on that Lithuanian national team with Luka. They're really good friends, little Dragic.
Yep.
So he wants to be with Luka. And the trade was supposed to happen. And I don't know what the hell Toronto was asking back in return, but
I don't
those two
either.
teams got to make it happen because Dragic is 17 minutes off the bench for Dallas would be huge. Huge.
Yeah. Oh, it makes them relevant. It makes them relevant. Right now, I don't think they're relevant. So, because I think they're going to be a mess. Because I don't think Jason Kidd, I love Jason Kidd, but not as a coach. And I don't even think he knows what he wants to do as a coach because he wants to take mid-range jumpers. He doesn't want to challenge the rim. He wants to spread the floor and run. And if they're going to get to the rim, it's going to be in transition. So I don't know.
Yeah, because they're centers. Willie Cauley-Stein and Dwight Powell. Now they traded for the Moses Brown kid, 7'2". They should actually be playing him, but they don't play him at all.
Well, they played to Powell a lot, and I like. Listen, Powell's he's a little bit nice, not quite mean enough. I don't think to be an NBA big guy, and I mean that's in a loving way. And you have to be an NBA big. You have to have a nasty streak, man. I'm telling you need a nasty, nasty streak because if you think Embiid's not nasty, let me tell you right now, he's dirty and nasty, and he'll do anything to get what he wants. He was not anyway when he was in Kansas. He was meek and soft and learning the game. But listen, it was always inside him. He's a pretty talented. He was always angry, that they wouldn't let him play soccer at any more higher level. He's a pretty good soccer player, from what I understand. But you just can't play. You can't be 7'1" and play soccer. I kept telling him, you can't. You're too tall. You're too no.
Powell is undersized. Powell is undersized, but Luka loves Powell.
Yes.
So that's probably why he gets his minutes.
Does Luka? Do you think? I thought Luka looked 10 pounds heavier than he did when he was really at top. I just think I didn't look like he's. He just doesn't look as quick. Or
remember when he showed up last year, started the year overweight?
Yeah.
And they were no good. He played a lot of ball because he played that whole tournament with Lithuania after this season.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, listen, Harden, don't tell me Harden's the same player he was 3 years ago, not with that 15 extra pounds on him. And he has it on him.
Sometimes you forget Luka's only 22 or 21 or something.
Right.
Maybe he's just growing. I don't know if it's fat or if he's just still growing at 22.
Yeah, that's what I tell
wasn't
him.
Last year
growing
because of COVID, he wasn't prepared for the season starting that soon.
Right. And he was overweight. There's no doubt about it.
Basketball's a different animal, but I'm growing still. I'm growing the wrong way. I'm the same weight. I'm the same weight as I was in high school. It's just proportioned a little bit differently. That's all.
Hey, as long as you're growing, Tony, as long as you're growing in strength of mind.
Well,
that's the only thing that matters.
Just don't wish me luck. All right, don't wish me.
I
can only have bad luck.
Successful men make their own luck.
I can only have bad luck because I'm always effing right.
We like that.
Yeah, I love it. So
what do we got? John, where did you land on your best bet?
My best bet is the Sixers. The side. And I have Najee Harris over 85.5. Freiermuth over 36.5 yards. I think the tight end's going to be featured. Roethlisberger, I think, will throw for 280 yards or more. I think over 244.5 is a pretty good bet. Minus 105. That's it.
And John, just so you know, right off the bat, tomorrow, I think it's Rob and I. We have our panel. We have a college football panel right after the tip-off show. I'm supposed to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I got to get a hold of Chris, but Chris threw me on for college football panel tomorrow. But I think that's a 1:30 show. I think it's like I think we're still doing the NBA show.
At 3.
Oh, it is? No, that's ours. But I thought isn't there a college football show that goes on?
Yeah, the college football daily is at 3. Because I do it Wednesday and Friday.
Okay, he said he needed someone tomorrow. I said, can't sign me in. He said, okay, be ready at 1:30. I didn't say anything to him because that's like halfway through the NBA show.
You better make sure that he don't want you for college basketball at 1:30.
That's what it is. Did I say college football? It's college basketball. I apologize.
Yeah.
So
They're
it's
starting
like
that show up tomorrow.
Right, and that's what he's wanting, and he didn't look at the schedule. But you know what? That's easily. I'll just call Porzingis. He can sub from talk about Dallas.
Stays are rough because they got us all over the place.
Oh, Embiid. Listen, Embiid.
We rock and roll here in the Manny's Pub Sports Show. We're appreciative for the time you do commit to it. It's good.
It's easy. Listen, summer, no problem. But when all 5 of the North American bigs are in action, Rob's in high demand. Me, I'm free all the time.
Tony McGee in high demand.
Well,
Tony Finn is the all-time money leader at WagerTalk. Rob Vino, you wouldn't want to talk to him about the NBA because he's only been the reigning champion for 2 years in a row at WagerTalk. Hey, why would you subscribe to him?
I don't know. Why would you?
Yeah, pick somebody that's lost 10 in a row.
Yeah, give some losers. Right. Damn it! Too many damn winners. Give us a loser every once in a while.
I'm proud to say I'm the $2 man tomorrow, and I believe Ralph Michaels is my counterpart on WagerTalk, I think.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Ralph must be breaking into college basketball season if he's on tomorrow. Because Ralph,
I could be wrong. I think it's him, but
he put in a ton of work. I don't know. I don't know how he does it. I mean,
I've given a couple of shout outs on the college football because he got me thinking about. He was talking about unders, right? 37.5. And what's your knee-jerk reaction if a public bettor would look at 37.5 in college football and bet the over? Well, it hits like 64%. You know how he does the drill downs? Like I love how he does that. I do the same thing. And then I thought, boy, we have Iowa and Wisconsin playing this week, in that week, right?
You can't play Wisconsin.
I wonder what the Big Ten Conference is in totals under 37.5. 9-0.
No.
9-0 to the under.
What was the number? 37.5?
Yeah. And that he was talking on the Bet On It show.
No.
With Kelly. But I thought that was great because...
What do you think the NFL totals this year are for under 37.5?
It's actually the opposite. If you go...
There haven't been any totals under 37.5. That's why I just said that.
Well, 40... there is one tonight. Almost.
39. I got 40 on that. I played under 40 in that game tonight. Just so you guys know, but not a big deal. I played under 20. I played under 40, and I played over 79. I played a bunch of props. One of those is Roethlisberger under 35.5 or 39.5 for longest completion.
Attempts?
Longest completion.
It could be both.
Longest completion. I got you.
And I'll tell you why is because on the road his longest completion of the year is 50, and 40 of that was yak.
And they do a lot of that, right? Get it out quick and let the guy run. They do a lot of that.
That's how you're going to get beat with Big Ben and the 1.9 seconds he holds the football.
Tom Brady-ish. And by the way, Tom Brady never had a stomach ache and left a game.
Well, he did.
The AD thing, a stomach ache.
He did, but that was just because it was from sucking all the air out of those footballs for that one time, and he just got stuck. It was deflated game.
Well, lest you forget when they adjusted the air weight in the football at halftime and put what was supposed to be in it. I think it was 42 unanswered points to the Colts.
I told him.
I think
If you're gonna fill the balls up, fill it up with nitrous, not with air.
So you guys have any good?
I need some hippie crack. Give me.
Do you have any good specials going on at Wager Talk that you want to promote here?
No.
Before we leave.
No. Here's what it is. Buy Rob Vino tonight. 5 NBA plays, 5 NBA winners. Guaranteed from Tony F and Finn. And if he doesn't go 5-0, don't go to me. Go to me.
Oh, there's a true friend. Boy, I'll tell you. I'm behind you the whole way.
Hey, I got the sales. I can't cover
got
it.
a new hype man. Tony Finn. Steve Merrill's usually my hype man on Mondays. But I haven't seen Steve.
Oh, no. I think Steve probably said,
I think he's coaching basketball now this time of day.
I think it's 2 sports, actually.
I don't want to do anything with Finn. He irritates me. He tells me I don't have hair.
Is that what he said?
I'm pretty sure he's doing 2 because...
I couldn't believe he had hair. I didn't know he had hair. But no.
Who, Merrill?
Yeah.
Merrill.
I didn't know. He always had a hat on. I said, one night on the show, I said, Steve, wow. Didn't even know you had any hair.
I still have a little bit on top. I just like wearing the hat with my headset.
Yeah. I tell him I don't like it with the headsets because it covers up my pretty hair.
Yeah, when you get to be 60 and you still have hair, you're happy.
I have no problem. Listen, I have no problem with. If I lose my hair, it will be because I probably suck too much of something I'm not supposed to be sucking.
Well,
I'm not talking about my wife's.
Once again, we're on 5 minutes too long.
Woo! That's why there's a limit on the NBA tip-off show, folks. All right, so we'll. You guys have anything big time going on at Wager Talk, or other than Rob's, Tony Finn? Do you have anything to promote?
What do you got, Tom?
To promote? Oh, I tell you what I got.
What do you got, buddy?
I got 3 NBAs. I got my early college football are up. Get them now, or you will not get the numbers. In truth, a couple of them from this morning have already moved 2 points. So I try to get those monies out early, and that way I did something right. I may not win, but you get the best number.
And how much fun is the MAC on Tuesday and Wednesday?
The MAC on Wednesday. The MAC attack on Wednesday is back. And here's what I wrote on my Twitter. I put up my free plan. I said, listen, I'm thinking about doing some in-game live NBA tonight. But hold on. I don't know. There's that Monday Night Football game. Can't take your eyes off an action-packed game tonight that may limit us from spending any time in the NBA. I'll be there. We got 3. I smell it. Guys, there is 3 8+ total middies in the NBA card tonight. You just got to pay attention. I'm going to get 3 8-point middles. I'm going to hit one of them. I don't get my 20 to 1, but I get about 16 to 1. Okay. And I don't care what the other 2 do. In fact, if they win 2, I'm gonna cash them. I'm gonna go buy some bootleg opiates and give them to the homeless people on the corner.
Yeah, it makes me think of
They'll like me.
The Sixers in-game would be a good one to if it starts out slower than expected. You and I both like the over. You get a price down there at 206, 203.
The volatile.
You do
volatile. Here's the deal. As soon as Lowry gets his minutes at point, play the over. Okay? Because after he gets done with his segment and he's run up and he's winded and if they've scored it all, the total's going to go up 5 or 6 points. And as soon as he comes off the court and Hero goes back, play the under.
It's funny because it's why their tempo numbers are skewed.
Yes.
Oh, like they're in the upper 10, and it's because one guy plays one way and the other guy plays the other way.
Yeah.
But overall, it makes it look like they're a really fast team overall.
He's a Gonzaga type of guy where they have their pace. Gonzaga played at a pace that was almost mythical, and that is only because they were so efficient. They passed the ball. It's sharp. You don't have to look out of control. And that's Hero. Hero's really this maturation from last year, this time to now, incredibly good. Incredible. He's really. I remember saying really they got that. I just never thought him. And listen, they got I got a sharp shooting 3-pointer that I never thought would still be on this team with a Lowry and they're young. This Miami team is young and damn good.
Which is why
I love it. So we'll see if you guys are available tomorrow at some point.
Well, maybe. Bids on. If I get 3 middles in the NBA tonight, I'm probably going to retire.
You're that'd be good.
Yeah, right.
You know my number.
I'm never going to retire.
Keep me posted.
I got one girl still.
I'm not either.
Still getting her doctorate. My God, it's going to cost me $500,000 to get her doctorate, and she won't make $500,000 in her profession during her whole lifetime. Which I'm happy. I'm just fine with. I love you, honey. Thank you. Thank you for being the first doctor in a family full of Tony Finns. Hard to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, guys, it was great being with you again here. It's been a while. And we'll see what we can pull off tomorrow. And we also have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I understand. That's how the week flows.
Yeah.
And then it's the weekend.
We should probably have a Saturday or Sunday. No shows on those days. And as long as
in-game.
As long as Rob is not chasing the Grateful Dead around, he can probably throw in 15 or 20 minutes.
No, it's called Grace Note.
I know. No, Grateful Dead sounds.
What's it called again, Rob? Not Grace Note. It's called
Grayscale.
Grayscale.
Graceland.
I was close.
Grayscale.
I was close. It was 2 syllables. I was right on top.
Yellowstone.
That was on last night.
Yeah,
that was on last night.
Listen, I don't tell anybody, but I only watch it because that crazy bitch. I like her.
I can't wait to Ozark.
I like that crazy bitch.
Ozark's starting pretty soon too.
She's pretty. Her breast might be a little bit too small. I like that bitch. Man.
Well, whatever she's got, she was showing last night.
Yeah, she does that really well.
She was on.
I know what I'm watching tonight then, because I hate football, as we all know.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Man, that was so good. Guys. I saved one.
I'm gonna grab some dinner, and then I'm gonna watch reruns of Ozark so that I'm prepared for when it comes into season 4. Oh, it's wacko.
It is, but it's good.
It is completely wacko.
Ruthie is crazy too.
I have an agreement with my wife. She's from there. I said, next time we're down there, let's go find that money. It's in the fucking walls down there.
I'm sure it's still there. I'm sure it's still there.
All right.
Alrighty. On behalf of Rob, Vino, F and Tony, myself, WagerTalk.com, SportsMemo.com. Good luck tonight. Thanks for watching our show. We'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow or another day this week. And may all the wins be underdogs.
Here's a new one.
Love it.
There you go.
He's an absolute maniac. We saved this little dude, and I've never had, but he's a mini.